There's an installation certificate that needs to be signed off. So that says I've installed the system and I've installed it according to the design that was given to me, and it's installed correctly. I've got the correct spacing on the saddles on the conduit, I've got the correct cabling in, and I've done it according to the design.
Welcome to Talking Fire with the Fire Detection Industry Association. This is a topic that we've discussed in a few different videos, but I think we just need to clarify exactly how everything fits together. Compliance, and the biggest failure for compliance is certification and documentation. So I think in order to clarify everything, we're going to take a project as a whole and see at what process needs to happen, and who signs the certificate, who's liable for the certificate, and what certificate needs to be handed over to the end user. So, Clive, I'm going to pass over to you. Customer phones you. They want a new fire detection system.
Yep.
It's a new building. How, as a contractor, how would you do it?
So the whole process from meeting with the client all the way to getting your money in the bank. All right, so what happens is, in general, somebody phones you up and goes, I've been told I need a fire system, come and see me. So we go off there, we go and meet with the people and we say, all right, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to protect? What are you expecting from your fire system? Off of that, we would then go away and do a design. That's why you need to have a registered designer, so the guy knows that you can do what you can do. You're going to then go back to the client and say, this is what I've designed, this is what I understand your requirement to be. If he's happy with that, he's going to then say, yep, I'm good. I can then issue a design certificate and say that this design is according to SANS 10139 edition 2021, obviously, because that's now the latest edition, L125 or P12 or M system. We will discuss that now. Yeah, we may as well discuss that now. So L system is a life safety system. You're protecting the people within the building. L5 is the basic smallest level that you can have, and that is in a specified area. So I've got a room where I've got a lot of marketing people, and it's just a little room, but it's important to me, and there's people in there, so I want to protect them. On your design certificate, you specify I'm protecting this area as an L5 system. All the way up to an L1 system, which is detection through the whole building. Every room, every area that is bigger than 1 square meter needs detection in it. And there's a lot of other stuff as well. You've got sounders, you've got manual call points and so on, but that's for that. A P system is property protection. You would look at doing that into a warehouse, an area that is generally not manned, and you get a P1 and a P2 system. The difference between the two is very minor. P1 system is similar to L system, L1 system, whereas you got now detection all over the building. However, for a P system, you don't need sounders as such, and you don't need manual call points. They can be added as additions, but they're not a specified item in the standard for P system. P2 is in areas that are specified. And then an M system is your basic runner. It's the cheapest, nastiest bit of installation you can have. Manual call points at your doors, and that's it. Sounders and so on for warning. So we've done the design, the client's accepted the design, and he signed it off. I sign the design, and therefore I am responsible. If anything goes wrong, that's the first port of call that people are going to come to you to sign the system, prove that you've done it competently and that you know what you're doing. So from there we move on, and now the client issues an order. We buy the equipment, and I give it to the installation team to go and do the installation. Again, there's an installation certificate that needs to be signed off. So that says I've installed the system, and I've installed it according to the design that was given to me, and it's installed correctly. I've got the correct spacing on the saddles on the conduit, I've got the correct cabling in, and I've done it according to the design. I sign that off. And this is where I see a lot of mistakes happening, is that the installers are pressurized to sign off, and they've not finished. They might have resigned and they're moving off to another company. Please do not sign any certificate unless you are willing to state your name on that. If anything goes wrong, it's your responsibility because your signature is on there. Court of law is going to go, listen, guy, you signed it off. It's your problem.
At which point, I assume that at the signing of the installation certificate, that the designer then gets involved in to make sure that the installer has installed as per the design, the right type of detectors, the spacing's correct, and all that kind of stuff. So there is a check in place in order
Yeah. Look, and again, the way we work is at the commissioning. So the installer hands over to the commissioner because
Okay.
I've installed it. Now the commissioner, it could be the same person as the designer, depending on the size of the company.
Yes.
If you've got 100 people, you could have designers and installers and commissioners. But some companies are small, so they're going to have your designer could be your commissioner. It's not the preferred way of doing it, but let's be realistic. So the installer's got the design, he's installed it with the as-built drawings, he then moves on and he gives it to the commissioner. The commissioner's got the design as well, so his design says there's got to be detectors here, and he goes and looks at it. This is a kitchen, there's a heat detector. This is a smoking room, so there's a heat detector in there, that kind of scenario. He checks it according to the as-built drawings, he checks it according to the design, and then he has to do the programming and the commissioning of the system. He then has to be responsible that the system works as what the designer has asked it to work. And he's also going to check that the installation's been done correctly.
Okay.
So that's where we go with that.
And then just to touch on the programming side.
Yeah.
Cause and effect. So I think more to educate the end user as to what cause and effects can do. It obviously becomes more involved with an analog addressable system as opposed to a conventional system which has the limitations. But general cause and effect settings does get brought into the design, such as coincidence, double knocks, nurse alarms, staff alarms, all that kind of stuff. And that is relevant, and there are certain criteria that need to be followed in the standards, whether it's in 10400 or in 10139.
Yeah.
Criteria has to be followed, and you still have to comply to what the requirements of the standards are. Obviously, we're trying to avoid unwanted and false alarms, which we're going to touch on in another video, because that's a whole nother story and something that's become more and more a topic of conversation within our industry. But yeah, I think the cause and effect matrices need to be understood and needs to be handed over in the documentation as well, so that the end user understands what's happening. And should your post-installation warranty period go and a new service provider come, they need to understand what the system does.
Yeah. And also it gives the end user the confidence that there's been 3 checks in place that the system is doing what it's supposed to do. Then from there, we do the handover. Some people call it a handover, some people call it a verification, some people call it a acceptance certificate. Me as a commissioner, I now go with the client and I say, I'm going to test this point here, put smoke in here, and look, the sirens go off, your lift is homing, the air conditioner shuts off. It does what I paid for. So that then is something that your client signs and takes ownership of the system that's been installed. So that we've had the whole process now that it's been designed. He's happy with that. The installation's been done. Everybody in the company and the client is happy with the installation. And now it's been tested and handed over so that you are happy that you've got what you wanted.
With acceptance, training, responsible persons.
Yep.
That stuff is all part of standard and is required. So
when you're handing over the system, there's a lot of responsibilities that go with this. And in the standard, it says that user responsibility is check the system daily, that there's no faults on it, check it weekly. And if there's any faults, contact your contractor to come and sort it out. And then there's a service maintenance schedule that should be applied. If it's a normal detection system, it's got to be checked. The whole system has to be checked annually. However, you have to have 2 visits so that you can check it through the year. So, and again, that's a discussion you have with your client is, am I going to do it quarterly? Am I going to do it 6 monthly? But it has to be a minimum of 2 visits per year, and the whole system needs testing.
Well, I think if you are looking for more information with regards to documentation, we have previously done a video. So maybe go and look for that video. We cover everything in terms of what is required with handover. And any other questions, please contact us, send an email, have a look on our website, and we are more than happy to share this information with anybody.